All right, my dear BIBLEin365 brothers and sisters, we are now embarking on the book of Mark, and I'm so blessed because this is my second year with you, and I am loving every minute of it. You know, it's a lot of hard work, but it is awesome. Now, I want to reiterate to you that these Bible summaries that you are getting this year are different from last year in that last year gives you the general summary of everything. This year is going to be a little bit more targeted in a way that gets you to understand some critical parts of the book that you are reading through that will help you broaden your scope of awareness of all of the scriptures in its totality. And yes, there is a way to do this. It is remarkable with the Old Testament and the New Testament. It's important in the Old Testament because the Old Testament is the law of God that's given to us, the prophets, the poetry books, the pre- and post-exilic books. All of those books work in harmony with one another. And the literal completion of those books is found in the New Testament. So we see it realized in the New Testament. It's amazing stuff, and that's why this is all very important. So this biblical account is remarkable. It is absolutely amazing because there is so much that's actually being documented for us, and there are certain aspects that I want you to look at. Now, here in the Gospel of Mark, what I really need you to be looking at is something really, really special. And that is Christ's MO for how he actually deals with people. Now, many people might not see this pattern, and it's kind of funny because it is really obvious, and how people miss it really isn't a surprise to me because these are spiritual things, right? And it's amazing how sometimes the most obvious stuff is the stuff that more people are not privy to because of the spiritual battle that we actually fight. But this is how Jesus typically worked. Right? In his ministry here on this earth, people would go to him and they would ask him a question or they would present a problem to him. And oftentimes Jesus would respond to the statement that was being made by saying something that was sort of seemingly completely unrelated to what was being imposed to them, right? A couple of really interesting examples of this is the woman at the well that interacts with Jesus, and you have this situation. Of course, this is accounted for in the book of John. It's not related to Mark, but you'll understand where I'm going with this, where Jesus is approached by this woman at the well, who in essence has her roots in Samaria, and she goes to ask Jesus about where they should be worshiping the Lord, because his forefathers worshiped the Lord somewhere, and her forefathers worshiped the Lord somewhere, and those two places were markedly different. So she would ask a question, and Jesus, kind of out of nowhere, would respond by saying, "Hey, woman, go get your husband." And that just seems completely out of line and out of place and weird. And the lady would respond and said, "Well, here's the thing. I don't have a husband." And Jesus said, "Yeah, you spoke right. Because you've had 5 husbands and the one that you're with right now isn't your husband." And then he dips into what might be one of the most spectacular pictures of what it means to walk in total satisfaction, never to thirst again, and it transforms her life. Now, here's why that would happen. Jesus always saw the heart as opposed to the circumstance or what words were being voiced in the question, and he spoke straight to the heart. Now, the Gospel of Mark is filled with circumstances like this. So your homework assignment is going to be to go to the sections where Jesus is being confronted or questioned, or there's a circumstances presented to Jesus, and look at how Jesus responded, and then make the determination of what the heart issue actually was in that situation. Now, I can promise you this. Doing this exercise will greatly broaden your awareness and understanding of all of the Gospels, number one, which will be pretty spectacular. But the other thing that will be remarkable about your experience in doing this is it's also going to broaden your scope of understanding of the Old Testament law, believe it or not. And there's a lot of reasons for that. And it will produce a lot of questions in the midst of your study, which brings us to the most important point, and that is you will grow as a result of the hunger that is developed from the questions that come in your mind. And I am honored and blessed to tell you that I'm going to be here for when you have those questions, because we're doing another live Q&A. We're going to do many of them this year, at least 12. We might do a few more. And I am thrilled and excited because over the next probably month or two, I am also going to be introducing a Bible study series for you guys, where I'm going to teach you how to study the Bible more in depth, and it is going to greatly impact what you do, and we will dedicate a Q&A that's not related to the regular Q&As on our Bible study learning. So it's going to be awesome. And if you go through the process that we are prescribing for you, you are not only going to get through the Bible in a year, but your knowledge of the word is going to increase so substantially, and you will learn how to be excellent Bible students. I can't wait to equip you guys. I'm really blessed. We love you. Keep fighting the good fight. And I know that I can tell you this on behalf of Charlie and Erica Kirk. We are blown away with how you are growing through your experience in the word. And I know I might get in trouble for saying this, but take a look at Charlie and what he's been doing lately. Because if you listen to many of the things that he's saying, I don't know if you can tell, but he's being more and more inspired by the word of God that's directing him, and it's making him a way more powerful voice to this generation. It's awesome to see that happening. Guys, it will happen for you too. So let's get this done. All right? Love you guys. God bless you.